T-H-E-K-double-E-G. 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 Get ready, get ready, get ready for the Keeg. And we are live with another episode of the Keeg Talks. I've tried to figure out what season of the Keeg Talks it is, and for branding purposes, this is season 8, episode 8. Wasn't it season 3 like a couple episodes ago? Yes. But just like other franchises, I have now included the 5 pre-pandemic seasons, 5 pre-pandemic seasons into the Keeg Talks. Now it's called the Keeg Talks. We're here to talk about Fantastic Beasts 3, Secrets of Dumbledore. There's a lot of colons in that title, and we're trying to figure it all out. I'm your host, Dimitri Pereira. We're going to talk about Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore, and everything in between. And I can't do it alone, so I got 2 awesome guests, one of which you've seen her on my Instagram live chat, and then maybe if you're, on the East Coast in some small state, we got Carly Roberts. Was that a good introduction, Carly?
Yeah, great intro.
Is that you in summation?
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Okay. You write Harry Potter fanfic. I thought I should open.
I did. Oh yeah, no, I didn't realize that would come up, but yes, I do.
You didn't realize that would come up in a talk about Harry Potter?
I mean, Harry Potter talk.
That you write Harry Potter fanfic? I feel like that, of course that would come up.
Of course it would.
Okay. Cool. So, you do great work on the page and off the page. So, thank you so much for being on the show to talk to me about this.
Thank you for having me.
Next up, you may have seen him on our episode when we talked about the Batman. We got Michael Simeon, aka Black Gay Comic Geek. I always want to make sure that's in the right order when I say it.
Yeah, so I get gay black comic geek. I get black comic geek. You forget the gay. I'm like, it's not that hard.
It's on your sweater.
Yeah, it's on my sweater. I'm black. I watched it too many times, so you see it's like peeling.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm black. I'm gay. I like comics. Like, it's easy. Black gay comic geek.
Black gay comic geek. It's peeling.
It's funny because I'm like, when I say it, I'm like, it's kind of like the movie titles, because I'm noticing more and more movie titles are getting longer and longer. Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore, The Birds of Prey, The Fantabulous Emancipation, whatever, of Harley Quinn or whatever. Like,
yeah.
What's that other movie with what's her name from Veronica Mars? I'm drawing a blank. The
Kristen
Netflix
Bell?
movie. Kristen Bell. She had that movie, The Window Girl, outside of the window across the street from the house. Like, yeah, it's a movie titles are getting ridiculous.
Are they tongue in cheek though? Like those long titles, or at least for her one, is it tongue in cheek? It is, right?
I mean, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if it was I don't think it was a spoof. I think it was like a horror movie.
I heard it was a almost spoof satire, but like very close to what it is satirizing. That's what I heard about. It's like true crime, something or another.
Okay.
That's what I heard. But who's to say? And you're right, the titles are getting longer. Remember when titles were just one word?
Yeah, one word. That's all you got to do.
Before,
well, how many screams could like Scream 1, 2, 3? Now that instead of Scream 5, now it's just Scream again. It's like, but we did that already.
I mean, what would Scream's like super long subtitle be? It'd be like Scream or the fantabulous murders of Courtney Cox.
Scream. This time we're doing it again in the same way we did it the first 4 times.
Right. If the Harry Potter books had to be summated into one-word titles, what would they be?
Like each individual one?
Yeah, like Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets would be
Dungeon.
They're all dungeons. They're all dungeons. I mean, I guess it would be Chamber. And wait, what's the second one called? Why am I blanking on?
That's the Chamber
No,
Secrets.
Chamber is the second one.
The Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, right. So Stone, Chamber, Prisoner, Goblet. Okay, it pretty much writes itself. You know. Were you a big fan of Harry Potter, Michael?
I mean, yeah, I didn't come into it with the craze of the books like everybody. I came into it with the movies.
Yeah. Did you end up reading the books?
And then I bought the books, but I didn't read them. I had them on my shelf for years.
Really?
I didn't actually read them until 2019.
But then you read them all?
All of them, yeah.
In 2019 and not even in 2020, but like 2019?
2019. I was out because I worked overnights at a hotel. So while I was anytime I did like the kitchen shift, I would be in the kitchen by myself. So so I wasn't actually reading. I listened to audiobooks. Right. I would be in the kitchen, either making food or cleaning up the kitchen, and I would have the audiobooks playing in my head for the entire 8-hour shift. Yeah. So because I'm listening for the whole 8-hour shift, I was able to like speed through all 7 books. And I love Jim Dale, who did the narration. He was great. Okay. So I definitely recommend, even if you have read the books, I definitely recommend going back and listening to the audiobooks.
I haven't really been able to get into audiobooks. I don't know, Carly, are you into audiobooks?
I mean, I used to use them in college so I could do other assignments while reading books for classes, but that's like it. Like I don't do audiobooks really anymore.
Yeah. Maybe I might because I wanted to reread the Harry Potter books again. And then I might just listen to the audiobooks instead of spending that time reading. Maybe I'll just listen to audiobooks.
I've heard they're great, yeah.
Okay. All right. What's been your Harry Potter experience? Like, did you start at the beginning, Carly? Like with the books and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, like when I was like in kindergarten, my mom read me the first book. And then I started the second one and I never got through it. And I didn't read them growing up. I watched all the movies. I went to the theaters to see the movies coming out. And then once COVID hit, that's when like Harry Potter TikTok started getting big. And that's when I picked up the books and read through the entire series in like a couple of months.
Did you do that because Harry Potter TikTok convinced you to do it or because you wanted to create for Harry Potter TikTok?
I mean, I just started getting a lot of the content and I was like, I really want to understand what a lot of this means because a lot of the content you see on Harry Potter TikTok has more to do with the books than the movies because it goes into like a lot greater detail and you get a deeper understanding of the characters. So I just felt like I needed that extra bit. Yeah.
Right.
And I loved it. I couldn't put the books down. I read them on my work breaks and stuff. And yeah.
Yeah. There's no denying that like Harry Potter was a phenomenon. The question, and that we will gather as we talk about this whole thing, is whether the magic is still there, whether magic is viable still. This is the third Fantastic Beasts movie, a franchise / spinoff that we never saw coming in the first place. Like once Harry Potter was over, it's like
nobody asked for.
Yeah, it's like they had those like side books that weren't narratives. It was just like a manual about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. And they're like, let's turn that into a series, you know? And people were like, what is going on? And then they made 3 of. Well, they originally stated they were gonna make 5, and so far they've done 3. Did you guys like the first Fantastic Beasts movie?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked Colin Farrell in the Fantastic, and I was actually disappointed to find out that he wasn't like the main villain. That was like, oh, Polyjuice Potion. I was like, oh, come on, that was because I thought he was a great Grindelwald. And then I mean, granted, we're gonna get into the second movie, but surprisingly, I was surprised at how much I liked Johnny Depp because I was like, Johnny Depp, come on. But the first movie, I just thought it was okay, and it was interesting to see other aspects of the magical world. Like we're outside of Hogwarts. We get to see them in New York this time. And we get to see it through the eyes of adults as opposed to children. But overall, I just think they started with a poor premise with like Newt Scamander and the Beast. Like at this point, it's not even about the Beast anymore. No. Like even when you look at the poster, Fantastic Beasts is like this, and it's the Secrets of Dumbledore.
Yeah.
So it's like the movie started a bad premise, and now we're still dealing with that in this third movie. And it's like, it shows. Like, they didn't really, I feel like they've made this franchise out of obligation instead of inspiration.
That's a good one. Also, very similar to Fast and Furious. Where did it come from?
Yeah, but at least that started. It started at a certain, like they had an idea, but then it just went. It became a superhero franchise,
right? Or like a Mission Impossible in a way, right? Like it kind of just became this. It went from like driving to heists to secret agent stuff.
Pretty much.
So you're right. Obligation as opposed to inspiration. Did you come up with that?
I did. Yeah.
You just come up with it?
Not just now, but it's something I've been using. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Picasso.
Trademark.
Carly, what was how'd you feel about Fantastic Beasts 1?
Well, okay, so the first time I saw it, I think I told you this, I'm very embarrassed. I fell asleep like halfway through the first time I saw it. Yeah. I agree. It doesn't really have they definitely didn't make it about the beasts. It did feel very all over the place, and just like they added like new random ideas like the Obscurus or the Obscuro or whatever it's called. But yeah, I like it, but I don't love it. It's not great.
Yeah, I feel like this whole series has been two premises at once. Mm-hmm. There's one is this whole Grindelwald thing and the Obscurus or whatever. That's like one thing. And then there's Newt Scamander like trying to save animals and be like empathetic and do his thing. And I feel like they could have just been two franchises, like, or two series, you know?
Yeah, like these movies, if you're gonna do a prequel, make it about Dumbledore. Like it should have been about Dumbledore from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like one route, right? We would have seen a young Dumbledore series. And then like, but Newt Scamander is also a cool enough character. And I think I like Eddie Redmayne.
I love him.
You know, I like the character. He's a different type of character that we don't normally see. But now he's been pushed to a side. I mean, we'll get to it. But
yeah, I like Eddie Redmayne and Newt Scamander, but I don't know if I like him enough for him to be the lead in these movies.
That's fair.
At least based on what they did with him.
Right. It would have been okay. One of the first things in Harry Potter 1, one of the first things but in as far as the whole Harry Potter series, is somebody killing a unicorn and drinking its blood, right? Mm-hmm. That's like what, like beasts are always part of Harry Potter, but like that's one of the things, right? How much better would it have been if this was a anti-poaching kind of like Newt Scamander saving beasts and having bad guys try to be like, well, this unicorn gives me eternal life. I'm gonna drink some unicorn blood. Something like that.
Especially with him being the only magizoologist at this point. Like, there's a lot that they could do with that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it goes to show, like, the Wizarding World never, or at least based on the fact that he's the only one, they don't really take the animal world all that serious. Like, he could be the magical incarnation of Peter, but hopefully, you know, a better version of Peter, because Peter, you know, Peter has their issues. Right. But like, yeah, there's a whole story within that they could tell, but it seems like they really just wanted, and you could tell, like, from all the 3 movies, they really want to tell this Dumbledore and Grindelwald story, but they're using, for whatever, they're using Newt Scamander as a catalyst for that, but it's like, it doesn't work.
Right. I feel like this whole series has been like, look, we just want sexy Dumbledore. Come on, we got Jude Law ready. He is ready. I just want sexy Dumbledore. And then people are like, executives are like, yeah, but throw in some magical beasts. And I was like, okay, fine. Newt Scamander. But sorry, Carly, did you have something to say about that?
I think the reason that they didn't make it from Dumbledore's point of view is maybe because he's stuck in Hogwarts. They must have thought, like, with Newt, they could get like the outside view of like what's going on in the world as opposed to just what's going on in Hogwarts. Because it is important how the world is reacting to Grindelwald. Yeah.
I get it. But in the end, Dumbledore's been in 2 out of 3 of the movies, right?
Yeah.
So it's
has he been in all 3 of them?
Hasn't he been in all of them?
Was he in the first one?
3. Yeah, he was in the first one.
I don't remember. Was he in the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, fair.
But he's not like, but he's not stuck at Hogwarts in the sense that like he can't leave. Like he's literally stuck.
No.
Like he's still a teacher, but like take a sabbatical, take a mini break. Like,
right. Yeah.
Which I mean, he's technically been doing anyway because we see him throughout these movies. All of them. He's not in Hogwarts, or he goes.
He's
to
never
Germany.
in Hogwarts. Dumbledore's never in Hogwarts. Like
No, there are
even
scenes at
when
Hogwarts.
he was the headmaster, he was never in Hogwarts.
he's
True.
always disappearing when Harry needs him. Harry just like Harry's always like, I just saw this guy like kill another guy, and then he's like, Dumbledore, where are you? Okay, Dumbledore's off somewhere. Like, what is Dumbledore doing? He's just always looking around for like potions and weird ass trinkets.
Horcruxes.
And Horcruxes, right? So like, Dumbledore needs to figure on. I don't know who's paying Dumbledore's paycheck as headmaster of Hogwarts, but I would put it in the contract. A clause is, come on, you got to spend the hours here. Like we're not paying you
Salaried,
to go
doesn't care.
gallivanting, right? You're a salaried employee.
Which makes me wonder because they don't really talk about that. I'm like, do they get a salary? Like, how does money work? Like, if you have magic, can't you just create money?
There's probably
Like,
their currency is probably magic proof, right?
Probably.
Otherwise, the goblins get on your ass. Goblins are
you don't
probably
want
running that whatever anti-counterfeit agency. I'm sure of it. I'm sure.
Probably. Probably. Yeah, maybe.
Are there taxes in the Wizarding world?
There must be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are there? And then, I mean, the IRS then are a bunch, like, they're goblins then, right? Like, it's just goblins for everything money related.
I mean, they're running the banks, which like is anti-Semitic trope.
It's J.K. Rowling.
We're not gonna get into all that.
Oh man, there's so much to get into, and we will touch on it. So Fantastic Beasts, the first one, starts off with this weird premise where it's like, let's shoehorn animals into it, which really the animals tend to just bookend the movies, right? It's like, first scene, find an animal. Last scene, use the animal. And then this weird, like, bowl cut Ezra Miller in between, That's Fantastic Beasts. And then Fantastic Beasts 2, I was telling Carly before this whole thing, I forgot everything about it.
I forgot everything about both movies. Like, I mean, if anybody's going to see this movie, I say wait till it's like on HBO Max.
Yeah.
But if you do see it in theaters, or whatever, and maybe sneak into the theater and don't actually pay for it. Don't actually.
There are more than enough open seats. You could.
Yeah. I definitely recommend seeing the first two movies before, because I was like, especially with the way that this movie starts, like right in on the action. I was like, I don't remember anything that had, like, even when Tina shows up, I was like, where is she? Like, I don't remember. Like, why isn't she there? I don't remember what's happening.
There were characters in this movie, in Secrets of Dumbledore, where I was like, I assumed, I was just like, yeah, this is the first time we're seeing them. Every character that came back from the second movie, I thought this was their first movie. I forgot about Theseus. I forgot about Yusuf. I forgot Zoe Kravitz was in the second one because I remember a picture of her was in the first one. That assistant to not Dumbledore, to Grindelwald with the lips, the girl with the lips. I assumed she was new in this. No, she was in the previous one. I forgot everything about Crimes of Grindelwald to the point where I forgot and I thought it was The Curse of Grindelwald. It's not even called The Curse of Grindelwald. So
yeah, even his brother. Like, I was like, I remember them introducing his brother, but I don't really remember anything about this. That just goes to show how memorable this franchise has been. Like, I still haven't. It's been a while since I've watched the Harry Potter movies, but I still remember every single one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can tell you specific moments in every single, not just, I think in this movie I could tell you specific moments in every single one.
Yeah. I had to watch a recap of number 2 to even talk about it right now.
Yeah, the only thing I know about this is like it's basically the defense against the dark arts. Every movie there's a different Grindelwald. I'm like, at this point, they need to just let it be a running thing. Like, even though they got rid of Johnny Depp because of everything that's going on with him, I'm like, if they do a part 5 or a part 4, don't cast Mads Mikkelsen, even if he's willing to return. At this point, you had 3 movies with 3 different Grindelwalds. They might as well just lean into it. Cast another Grindelwald in the next movie, and then in the final movie, cast another one. Because
and work it into the continuity. Like, okay, for example, like in James Bond, they used to have like a different guy playing Felix Leiter every single movie and not explain it. It was just a different actor. And in this, like, I get like he always looks different, but is it in the continuity that he's supposed to look different?
They don't address it. The only time they addressed it was in the first one because he's literally but they don't address it in this one.
Because I think they should address it. They just say like he just always changes. That's just who he is. I feel that's fair.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it would make sense for them to address, like, it's literally a world of magic, so it's easily explainable.
Right.
As opposed to something like Terrence Howard and Don Cheadle and Iron. It's like, they didn't even talk about.
No.
It's not even like they look close to each other. It's like one's light skinned and the other one's dark skinned. It's like one's Terrence Howard's taller, Don Cheadle's short. It's just like, Rhodey. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Soap opera logic.
Yeah. Carly, did you have were you going to say something?
No, I feel the same way. I really wish they would have addressed it because, I mean, at the start of Secrets of Dumbledore, they just jumped right into it. I was like, who's this guy? And then they were talking and I was like, wait, this is Grindelwald. Okay.
Oh, you didn't even know Mads Mikkelsen was playing Grindelwald in this?
Didn't know there was a change.
Oh.
I hadn't looked at the cast or anything. Yeah. Probably should have, but.
I'm okay with I'm okay with Johnny Depp, just personally, except I think he's overplayed. Like, he's in everything. Mm-hmm. And so I was fine with not having Johnny Depp in this. Because normally Johnny Depp's just like, oh, I'm Johnny Depp. Like, that's Johnny Depp to me.
Yeah. I just didn't think he was right for Grindelwald.
Yeah.
No.
Who do we think, with out of the 3 that we have seen so far, who do we think is the best Grindelwald? The most compelling?
Colin Farrell.
Over Mads?
I really like Mads.
I like Mads better than Johnny, but I like Colin Farrell the best.
Fair. I also like Colin Farrell just in general. I feel like he's come a long way. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of the boy, you know? So granted that like number 2 was very forgettable. I watched the recap and I was like, I guess I remember this. Number 3, it starts off with Grindelwald and Dumbledore having a meeting of minds, right? It was because it wasn't real, right? Was it real?
Yeah.
That I'm not sure about. Yeah, because I'm like, the place started catching on fire. So I'm like,
right.
Maybe it's in the mind.
Yeah.
It reminded me very much of that space where Dumbledore and Harry met after Harry died.
The train station?
Remember? Yeah. Like, it felt very similar to that, just with how white it was and like the way the light was. It just felt very similar.
I mean, to be fair, most of Harry Potter's pretty white.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. But then it starts burning, and then I think I'm like, okay, that's a dream, but it's not a dream. It was, but maybe they could have been more clear about that. Mm-hmm. Michael, did you have thoughts about Dumbledore and Grindelwald?
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts.
I know you do. I know.
It was a nice little opening scene to get to actually, because again, these movies should have been about the 2 of them. This is the story. This is the most compelling story that you have. And then also, like, this is technically the first time since J.K. Rowling's turf self came out and said, like, Dumbledore, after I write all the books, I'm going to come out and say Dumbledore's gay. Yeah, he's always been gay, but it's never been in any of the books at all. And it only took 11 movies. Yeah, 8 Harry Potter movies plus 1, 2. Yeah, basically this is the 11th movie. It only took 11 movies in the franchise for it to finally be canonically said in a movie that, Dumbledore was in love with another man.
No, it was just a bro type of love. They were just best friends, you know?
And even that, you could still like take that if you're like, well, he doesn't mean like I'm in love with you. Like, yeah, I want to like 69 you or whatever. He's like, no, I'm in love with you as you're a cult leader.
Right. Like I mean, there's always people in denial.
So, and that's what I was saying. Like people could easily take it that way. So it wasn't like my whole thing. Like I talked about on my YouTube channel, this movie wasn't gay enough for me. That's my biggest issue with this movie. I mean, and other stuff, but it's my biggest issue with this movie. Yeah.
But did you guys hear what they did with this movie in China?
Especially with that, yeah. The fact that you can censor. Oh, well, I'll let you say it.
Well,
first.
yeah, they what? Either censored it or took out specific chunks of scene.
They took out the lines.
Yeah, the line. Okay. That referred to them being lovers. And were you about to say, Michael, that like the fact that you could and that the movie stays intact?
Yeah, the fact that there's only 2 lines that's referencing the gay, where I did it because I was in love with you, and the summer Geller and I fell in love. That's the only 2 gay references in the whole movie. And so the fact that the 7 seconds of a 2-hour movie could be edited out and it doesn't really change anything, that right there says, yeah, it wasn't gay enough.
Right.
And people are mad. People get mad at me when I say that on YouTube because somebody was like, "Oh, I came here for a Secrets of Dumbledore review. What the hell is this gay shit?" I'm like, my name is on the channel." Like, what would you think I'll be talking about? And the title of the video is "The Secrets of Dumbledore is not gay enough." Like, what did you think you were coming when you clicked on this video?
Also, the movie, did they go and see the movie, or did they choose not to see the movie? Because
I don't know if they saw the movie, or they just ended up coming to my channel for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I'm like, my name and the title of the video. What did you think? I'm confused. But whatever. The internet's gonna internet.
We got, by the way, I just wanted to shout out, first things first, we're live streaming on multiple different platforms. We're live streaming on volume.com/The Keeg Show, twitch.tv/The Keeg Show, and then youtube.com/The Keeg Show. We got Queen J 1422 out there. Queen J has been talking with us on Volume. So I wanted to shout out Queen J. Queen J.
Hey, Jessica. Should I say her name out
loud? Let's see. I do want to, we will get to some of that. Some of what she's saying. It was never mentioned in the books. Yeah. Dumbledore being gay is never mentioned in the books. J.K. Rowling comes out afterwards and says, oh, yeah, he was gay the whole time. Okay. Just like she randomly was like, yeah, there was a Jewish student the whole time. We just never heard about him. She's because she could invent it. We could be like, why wasn't there a centaur student? And she'd be like, there was a centaur student named like Firemane, and Firemane. Oh, you didn't see him? I guess you weren't really reading hard enough.
I can't see the comments, but shout out to Queen J. That's my best friend, Jessica. So,
Queen J is very active on the chat, which is awesome. She is bringing up Aberforth, which. We will get to. But she also says, I would have loved for them to show that Albus actually had a love interest. What? Is that tying in with Grindelwald? You mean, or another one? No,
another. I mean, you got somebody that looks as sexy as Jude Law. You mean to tell me Grindelwald is the only person that he's ever like, and then they don't even like, they don't really dive into whether it was actually like a consensual relationship, or if Grindelwald was using the fact that Dumbledore was in love with him to get what he wanted, but he didn't actually return. Like they go back and forth with whether it was like unrequited love that Dumbledore had, or they actually like were both in love with each other. Like they don't really. But I'm just saying, like even with that, you mean to tell me even if they were actually like boyfriends or whatever. Somebody that looks like Jude Law. He's the only, Grindelwald is the only person he's ever been with, ever. Like Dumbledore's not getting head in like the Hogwarts, and like one of the teachers at Hogwarts, like in between like lunch break or whatever. Like I don't believe, like come on now, like I don't, and it falls into the trope of like the sexless gay character. It was like, oh, we'll have the representation, we'll have a gay character, but we're never gonna see any of their love interests or anything like that. But when it comes to straight characters, we're going to see the courtship. We're going to have people get married like Queenie and Kowalski or Tina and
Newt. Yeah.
We're going to see all of it when it comes to straight characters. When it comes to the gay characters, it's just like, we're going to ignore it.
We can cut out 7 seconds.
7 seconds.
It's, 7 seconds of being gay.
Yeah, even like Will and Grace. Will didn't get. We saw all of Grace's love life. Will didn't get a boyfriend until season 5.
Modern Family. Mitchell and Cam don't kiss until like a later season, right? I don't think they kiss at all in the first season.
I don't watch Modern Family. So
okay, that's fair. But like, they made a big deal about them being a gay couple with a kid, but they didn't kiss until however long. Which is like this weird double standard that keeps happening. And then to go around and be like, well, Dumbledore was gay the whole time. There was a Jewish character the whole time. Like, because she did that, right? In a tweet.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. You guys know about that, right? You guys about like the Goldstein, Joshua Goldstein or whatever his name is. It's like J.K. Rowling needs to, okay. I'll get into
it was the start of her trash decline. It's something that you could probably forgive and ignore, but it's like, yeah, it was like the start of the decline of the J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, it's weird because
all she needed to do was shut up and let the books and collect your money. Just shut up.
But the problem with that is, she thinks she's better, right? She thinks she knows better. She's not going to sell. I was telling Carly, I just want J.K. Rowling to just sell the Harry Potter franchise to someone who can write better and more diversely and just progressively, because that's what it's based on. Otherwise, I don't know. I got a lot of thoughts. But even the name like Cho Chang, like, has she not met any Asians in England? Because there are, and there's a bunch. Does she not know?
I can say apparently not, because how many people of color were in Hogwarts?
Right. You guys know about not Lee Jordan, but who's the only other black kid?
Dean Thomas.
Yeah, Dean Thomas.
You guys know about Dean Thomas's father? JK, like, supposedly in like some expanded something that like that she was talking about is Dean Thomas couldn't prove that he's of pure blood because his father was absent and he could never track down his father. And that's why he can't prove he's a pure blood to the wizards. It's like, come on. Oh man, these things pop up and it's not,
but it's so stupid because don't they have records of all the wizarding families? Like even if you're going to go that route, whatever, but it's still, there should be a record of him,
right? Or
if not him, his family and his, like, I don't know, it's stupid.
Yeah. Queen J says she stated that Dean is a half. Did you say half breed or half blood?
Half blood.
A half blood prince. Oh yeah, half blood prince. Yeah. So anyway, Secrets of Dumbledore. We start off with this thing and like somebody was pointing out how the movie doesn't need all these characters because they don't do much except the distraction ploy at the end of the movie. And that's just a numbers game. It's not even like their personalities. Did you guys feel that way about all these characters?
Carly, I'll let you go first.
Yeah. Yeah. I just I don't really get the point of Bunty. I feel like Newt doesn't need an assistant. You know?
Was Bunty in the first? Or did she just appear in the second?
She only came up in the second one.
I don't remember her.
Yeah. I thought she was new in this movie. Again,
yeah, I thought she was new for
another
this
character.
Movie.
Yeah. But nope. No. Okay. Weird.
But yeah, even like the guy, I can't think of his name, but the French guy who's Lestrange.
Yeah.
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 He didn't really do anything. Like, granted, yay for 2 black people on the poster, but like, what were you there for? Like, if you're on the poster, it seems like you're gonna be a main character.
Right.
But you didn't really. outside of Lottie, for the most part, out of the new characters, we don't really learn anything. Which she was my favorite character in the whole in this whole movie.
That Jessica Williams character?
Yeah, Jessica Williams. Yeah, but like we didn't really get much from his brother. Like learn any backs. Like we didn't really learn anything about any of these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then not even just this. What did we learn in this movie? Period. Other than there's a magical unicorn Bambi like creature that bows to the leader, and then that becomes the leader of the Wizarding World. What does the leader of the Wizarding World do? Like, how is that different from the Minister of Magic?
Right.
And then who is the chick that became the new leader? Like, we don't know anything about her.
Right.
She barely had any lines. So it's like, I'm supposed to be like, yay, it's not Grindelwald, it's this new chick, but who are you?
Right.
Like,
right. Sorry. I don't know where I was going to go with my thought. Carly, were you going to say something?
No, I just that I completely agree. I feel like even like a lot of the main characters we don't really know. We don't really know Tina and Queenie that well, even, and they've been around since the beginning.
Yeah. Queenie at least gets a lot of time in this, right? The whole Queenie and Jacob Kowalski thing is like half the movie, right? That's a big part of this movie is them two. Did we feel attached to them?
No.
I don't.
And then also, like, yeah, she was in the movie a lot. She had a lot of the screen time, but a lot of it, like, come on, guys, the Bechdel test is still like. Did she talk to any other woman in the movie? Like,
what did Lips Girl? What did Lips Girl have to do? Like, she didn't do anything in the movie. She just
don't know anything about her.
Like, we don't know anything about her. She was just
Lips Girl.
She's like the Nazi. Like, I just kept comparing her to like a Nazi Ava Braun type character. You know, because she was like Grindelwald. She was always there with Grindelwald. She had like dark lipstick. She had lips. What else?
She had lips.
I don't know. You know, I have a strict thou shalt not simp over Nazis, and I stick to that pretty good. So she is what she is. But
well, I'm pretty sure she's not one in real life. So
no.
I guess,
well, that's why I had to like.
I guess you'll be forgiven if you try.
I'll learn her name in real life and I'll separate it from the character. But for now, she's that character that I guess was in the second and now is in the third. But she doesn't do anything. She's just kind of there.
Apparently, such a nothing cat. I'm like, I don't even know who you're talking about. So that's how important that character
is. One of Grindelwald's people.
And I've seen the movie twice. So
she's the one that lights the banner on fire as people are
okay.
and then it falls.
Oh, the one that stole the suitcase at the end. Is that the same person?
That's a different person. I don't know who that person is either. You're right. I don't know who that person is either. When she was like, I'm one of Dumbledore's, right?
Yeah.
That was like the German minister's number 2.
That is. Yeah. Vogel. Yeah. Vogel's number 2. I got confused because I was like, Vogel is the Confederacy of Magic. What was that? What it was called? Confederation of Magic?
Yeah, it was like the International Confederation of Magic, something like that.
Yeah. Which we never knew existed before this, right? That there was a.
Yeah, no.
And it's like, that is all interesting stuff. Like, take something that we take, I think it was the Half-Blood Prince, not the movie, but the book, where we actually learned that like every British prime minister finds out about the magical world and they have interactions with the Minister of Magic. Like, that's this type of stuff I would like to have seen more in these Fantastic Beasts movies, like the politics aspect, how it affects adults and adult problems and adult worlds and adult situations, included in all this chaosness of Grindelwald's trying to destroy the world or whatever. Like, it's all about him wanting to get rid of Muggles. Well, yeah, we don't really see how it affects the Muggle world or whatever.
I feel like with things like this, with magical universes, we're presented a lot of like stories that like bring up a lot of questions, and then you're like, what are the answers to these questions? Hopefully later installments will figure it out. But I feel like this one and like all the other ones of Fantastic Beasts specifically are like, here are just more questions we're never gonna like tell you about. And you just gotta fantasize about it and just like come up with your own headcanon. For example, if the British Minister of Magic meets with the British Prime Minister and tells him, but then all other countries have ministries of magic. Do they also then talk to their presidents or whatever about magic? So all the world leaders just know about magic?
I would assume so.
Did Hitler know about magic? I would assume so, because Hitler also had like a weird occult fanaticism, right? But
I was gonna say probably.
But then Hitler would just talk to the German minister of magic and be like, just give me some magic, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I mean, based on what we've seen, I don't think you like if you're a nomad, as they call it in the first, which they dropped in the other movies. Yeah. But like, yeah, I don't think you can just like have magic, because like even Kowalski, like he had a fake wand. Like it's not like Dumbledore could just be like, here's magic.
Right.
So if Hitler's not a witch or wizard, I don't think he could just get magic.
Right. But he could grab magical artifacts, which is what he does in Indiana Jones.
Like two separate franchises.
I know. But Hitler in real life had this weird fascination with like weird things like that, right? And
I mean, there's all the rumors about experimentations and all that other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but
we don't want to get. I don't know if you're monetized on YouTube. I don't know when to get the stream demonetized talking too much about.
Oh yeah. But I was also does the politics of the magical side of the country match up with the politics of the non-magical side?
I mean, a little bit. It did seem like when they were in Germany, like it did seem a little Nazi-ish.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially with the fact that the Confederation was the ones really pushing for Grindelwald to come into power.
Right. What are other things we've learned about this movie through or learned about the Wizarding World through this movie? Do you guys have like questions? Because
we didn't really learn anything.
But like we saw symbols that popped up that we never really like. There wasn't dark marks, right? But they were like Grindelwald had a symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Which, did we see that in number 2?
No. Okay. Not that I remember.
Yeah.
But even with that, like the whole Bambi choosing the leader.
Yeah. They're called chillin'. They're called chillin', by the way.
The chillin'. Didn't they say it's like super rare? Mm-hmm. And it's been a while since we've seen a chillin'. So like, how are they picking the leaders before that? Like, we don't learn anything in this movie. It's just did they vote? Was this like a magical ballot? Was it a sorting hat type of? This person is going to be the new president or whatever. I don't know. I
gathered that like they always use a chillin'. It seemed like they always use a chillin', but
they made it seem like I was gonna say they made it seem like in the movie like we haven't seen a chillin' in a long time.
No, I think in between, I think it was more of a democracy.
Then why randomly bring out a chillin'?
Because it's the first chillin' they've seen in a while, and that was Grindelwald's idea because he wanted to prove that he was like the one who should be the rightful leader.
Oh, so if Grindelwald wasn't put into the election, they wouldn't have used a chillin' for Santos versus
probably not.
The other guy. Okay. All right, you guys are teaching me a little bit. We all watched the same damn movie too. Let's see. Queen J says, because it's Fantastic Beasts, that is why. They just shoehorn animals.
Fantastic Beasts, yeah.
They do. The chillin' was completely new, I think, too, because I was doing some research for my fanfic the other night, and I looked up like a list of magical beasts, and the chillin' wasn't on the list. So I was like, where did this come from?
It's spelled with a Q, or at least in English, it's spelled with a Q. Yeah. I looked it up, or at least a little bit of what it is a Chinese mythological being with those powers of good kind of thing. And it's spelled like K or Qilin or something like that. Pronounced chillin'. Also, I need subtitles in my British magic movies because I don't remember the names or anything. I had to
not just that, but I've been wondering for a while, like at this point, why don't all movies have subtitles?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
At this point, like for the hard of hearing, like come on now, like what? And even me, like when I play video games or I watch, I like to have subtitles on.
Oh yeah,
like
always.
Yeah.
so it's like at this point, it's I don't know, whatever. I don't run things in Hollywood or anything. Like if I ran things, we'd have universal health care in America, but that's another conversation.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of subtitles. I especially watch it for British stuff because like sometimes you just can't understand them, and then sometimes so I'll always use it for British stuff, and then I'll always use it for like science fiction stuff because I need to see the spelling of things. Star Wars, I'll watch it with subtitles so I can see the spelling, and I'm like, okay, I know this character's name, and it's some like weird name. That's Star Wars.
Boom. Sarlacc pit. How do you spell it?
Sarlacc. Sarlacc.
You're better than me. I'd have been like LMNOPQRS.
I was the 5th grade spelling bee champion in my district, so
Wow.
All right.
you know, that's my claim to fame. We didn't have Sarlacc though.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Go.
I have never seen it written out. I need to see it written out and then I remember it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I can just guess. But you know, let's talk Jessica Williams' character because we mentioned it earlier. Lottie was her name.
I think it's Lolly.
Lolly.
Okay, she's an Ilvermorny school teacher from America, and then she knows Tina somehow.
Yeah, and she's been corresponding with Newt for years, but this was the first time they actually
Because she's
met.
a charms teacher.
Yeah.
But what does charms have to do with magic zoology?
Well, I think she also wrote a textbook on charms, didn't she?
She wrote a textbook on charms. Charms. Does she write the textbook that they used in Harry Potter?
Yes, you got to charm the animals.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, fair. But why are they talking? Newt and her.
A share of magical information. Because you got to get.
They're both researchers.
You got to get Jessica Williams in the movie. You got to get Got to get this random character together.
Yeah.
But I loved her. I loved her character. I love Jessica Williams. I've been a fan of her since she's been on Comedy Central. Although her little accent, I was like, I could do without it. But
I wasn't a fan of her accent either.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of her accent. I feel like she was trying a little bit, but the character and the way she portrayed it overall, I enjoyed it. I was like, yeah, like finally we get a black main character in a Harry Potter, and she had like some great actions. You know, it wasn't she was just there for window dressing. Like, no, she actually played a part in the narrative.
Yeah.
Unlike Yusuf.
As opposed to like you see my Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the background. It's not like he's just in the background. She actually participated in the story.
Yeah. Yeah. It was interesting pairing her with Jacob because she was able to take care of him and take care of herself at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was cool. There's that scene where with the pages and then is it a port key or just a disapparate? I don't know.
I think it's a port key.
Okay.
I think they just disaparated.
In that scene, I think they just disapparate, right?
Yeah.
Wait, which about
when they're
at the party.
Yeah, when Jacob uses, or he doesn't actually use the wand, but it creates the storm.
Yeah, I think because she just grabbed him and they teleported. They didn't actually go into the book.
No, not in that time. Yeah. So I thought that was a cool pairing. And I do like Jessica Williams. Have you seen Modern? No, not Modern Love. I forget what it's called. There's season 2 with, I'll figure it out. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm like, whatever it is you're gonna name, I already know I haven't seen it.
Okay. She's in it is all I'm saying. And she's good. I like her. Yusuf, I felt like didn't do anything. There's the weird thing where he's like, I'm coming to your side. Well, you don't mind if I take the memories of your sister out, right? No. And then he doesn't do anything except the end where he's like, haha, table.
That's something I was confused about too. Like even when he turned the tables on, I was like,
What was the point?
Does he not remember his sister? And then also, if he doesn't remember his sister, isn't the sister the motivation for him to go after Grin? If he doesn't know his sister, why would he want to turn on Grin?
We didn't explore that at all.
I'm confused.
I think the issue is he just didn't need to be in this movie. They could have just left him in the second one and not.
Yeah, no, he was in the second one. I don't even remember him in the second one.
He was a big part of the second one.
Yeah, I didn't remember him in the second. Well, I also just didn't remember anything about the second movie at all. By the way, it's been 4 years. The first Fantastic Beasts came out in 2016, the second one in 2018, and now it's 2022. So it has been 4 years where I've not thought about that movie once. So.
Like at this point, honestly, like I don't care about this franchise anymore. The only thing that would keep me coming back is I just want to see the giant epic, supposedly greatest wizarding duel of all time between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, where Dumbledore ends up getting the Elder Wand.
Yeah.
Where is the Elder Wand right now?
Grindelwald has it.
Grindelwald has it.
That's what he used in this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has it, and then Dumbledore gets it because he defeats him.
Oh. Does Dumbledore kill Grindelwald?
No. Grindelwald gets locked up in Azkaban.
Yeah, you see him locked up in the
Voldemort kills him.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And that's how Voldemort gets the Elder Wand?
Yeah.
No.
He takes it from Dumbledore's corpse.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
In the tomb. That's right. When he goes down. Okay. Sorry. Queen Jay's been in the comments the whole time. And I feel like I'm not ignoring her. Grindelwald has the Elder Wand right, is what she says. Okay, cool. We deal with the secrets of Dumbledore in this movie. Big secrets.
Did we though?
No.
Was there a secret?
The secret was that Credence is Aberforth's son. He is a Dumbledore, just not a brother of Dumbledore. Does that?
Which I don't care
anything?
about at all. No.
Yeah. Moving on. Like, so what? So what? Who cares? First of all, I'm like, even though they technically teased that he died, I'm like, we're definitely not going to see Ezra Miller anymore. Like, we're not going to see them.
Oh man, Ezra Miller.
We're not going to see them anymore. And in this movie, they might not even do the Flash might get canceled.
Right. Did they finish filming the Flash? I don't even know.
I think the Flash wrapped.
Okay, so
I think
so they'll probably release the movie with him in it, unless it's bad enough that like
them.
What?
His pronouns are they them.
Oh, is Ezra them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So with them in it, which is also interesting because they play more than one character in Flash.
Yes, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, is Discovery gonna eat the $200 million and be like, nah, we can't. I mean, with all the stuff that like he has a restraining order against them out. Like, are they gonna release the movie or
they're gonna release it if they finish filming it?
Carly doesn't know. You don't know this?
I don't know any of this.
You don't know what's going on with Ezra Miller?
I don't know what's going on. I never know what's going on.
I had to turn my camera. I'm like, I see my vacuum in the background. Let me.
Ezra Miller. I don't know what was recent, but there was a thing in the past that like I was surprised.
No, it was recent.
Right, but there was a past thing that I'm surprised they didn't kick him off on that. But there's a
I
video
was surprised about
where
too.
a fan comes up to him and Ezra Miller it's in like Russia or Ukraine or someplace. He's just like out back smoking outside a club, and then this fan comes up to him and he like chokes her. He grabs her by the neck and chokes her and like
slams her on the ground. That was a couple years ago. I'm surprised he didn't get canceled back then.
I thought he was gonna get canceled then.
What?
Yeah, this was a couple years ago. But then recently, like he like broke into like some couple in Hawaii's room and like got in their bed and started cursing out the husband. I don't know the full details, but they they have a restraining order out against him. Them.
That was the recent thing that happened?
That's the recent one, yeah.
Okay.
In Hawaii.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know how Ezra will come back. I also think that there's a lot of problems with DC's casting in general. Like, they didn't vet anyone beforehand. Like, MCU vets their people, and then sometimes you mess up and they're like, okay, zero tolerance policy for the most part. Get out of here. And then DC is like, we gotta find people. I guess we'll keep Ezra Miller. Yeah, I think this will be the last time. Also, the character doesn't need to exist anymore, right?
Character never needed to exist.
Right. To give Aberforth a son, because that's what we really wanted.
No one needed that.
I do like the actor playing Aberforth in this. I did like
I do. Even something like, again, these movies should have been about Dumbledore. Like, this could have been a perfect opportunity to get, we could have learned more of Aberforth's backstory, because Aberforth showed up in what, like the seventh movie? Mm-hmm. It's like, Dumbledore has a brother. I would like to learn more about him. Like, especially how does he feel knowing that his brother is like the most powerful wizard of all time? He's like, like, I'm pretty sure maybe there might be some level of inadequacy or jealousy or whatever going on between. Like, I would like to see more of that dynamic. Like, even when the two of them are on screen together, I'm like, this is the story I want to see, especially with the sister Ariana. Like, it should have been about the Dumbledores.
It should have.
I think both Newt and Dumbledore hurt each other's possible premises.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because they both dilute each other. Because they're both two different characters, Newt and Dumbledore. Mm-hmm. There could have just been two different Harry Potter related series.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Could have just, right? Queen J says, to be honest, it would have been better if Albus had a kid instead of his brother. Also, Queen J says Aberforth was upset with Albus because of the sister dying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's that whole Ariana thing that, like, I forgot about. I forgot about the whole.
Yeah, they could have gone more into that if these movies were about Dumbledore, the Dumbledores. That could have been the name of the movie, The Dumbledores.
A sitcom?
I mean, at this point, with the way these movies have been going, it's basically a sitcom because it's like all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
But it could have been about, like, the movie could have started with a younger Dumbledore and a younger Aberforth or whatever.
It would just be episode 1 of Star Wars.
Pretty much. It could have been a younger Ariana. We see Ariana die, her being Obscurio, him falling in love with Gellert the first time they met, them going through their whole little world domination phase.
Right.
Whatever. And then him seeing the light and saying, oh no, that's not the way I want to go.
The problem is, and it sucks, and it brings it back to what Michael was saying, is that they won't hinge the whole movie on them being gay. They won't have that be the narrative because they can't cut that part out. And they kind of, all these studios like that. They like having the credit for putting these characters in, but they're very okay with, like, kind of making it insular, so you can just, like, pop it out.
Yeah, I remember.
Show it to other markets, and then
I don't know if you saw the live action Beauty and the Beast, but I remember the director. I can't remember who's the director.
I never saw it, but I heard about it.
Oh, well, I remember them saying, like, oh, we're gonna have a very prominent gay moment at the end of the movie, and it was fucking Josh Gad dancing in the background with another man, and it was like another thing that could be easily cut out of the movie,
right? But
prominent gay moment, and I'm like, yeah, if it can be easily cut out of the movie and it changes nothing, it's not prominent. Miss me with that bullshit.
Yeah. Even
like the lesbian kiss that J.J. Abrams put in The Rise of Skywalker. Oh yeah, LGBTQ representation is very important to me. That's why I made a thing to make sure it was in this movie that could be easily cut out of the Chinese release.
Yeah.
When it should have been Finn and Poe.
Was that your ship, Finn and Poe?
Yes.
Okay. That's fair. I can't argue with that. Not my ship, but I get it.
I could. There's so many parallels to Finn and Poe and Han and Leia.
Interesting.
Yes. But that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
Carly, what did you want out of this movie?
I don't know. I wanted it to be less about Credence. I don't care about Credence.
Yeah.
The whole second movie was like just about him and his backstory. I was like, this is not a character that I care about at all.
Yeah. The recap I was watching summed it up as they literally did the Star Wars, the sequel trilogy route, where they're like, he could be someone special. Maybe he's someone special. No, he's not anyone special. He's a nobody. But he is someone special. Wait, twist. He's someone different that's special.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What does it add? I don't know.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen more the relationship of Dumbledore and Aberforth and like all their backstory, since it didn't get covered in the original series. I mean, it got covered in the books, but not in the movies. So I would have liked to have seen that backstory on the screen.
Right.
I'm just laughing because I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, so we have this movie. It's done like 2 hours, two hours plus.
Mm-hmm.
What did we really learn from this movie after the end of the second one? Like what accomplished? Like how was this furthering the plot? What did we learn now that this movie's done?
With the third movie?
Yeah.
Like about the Wizarding World or about the story that they're trying to tell?
All of the above.
Well, we're supposed to have learned that Aberforth had a son. But that doesn't affect anything.
They could have said that in a tweet.
same way J.K. Rowling does for everybody else.
Yeah, it could have been a tweet.
Right.
We learned that chillins are real, but like
right. There are like informational things, I guess, but in the end, what does it matter? That there at least used to be a confederation of magical nations or whatever, but who knows if they are even around by the time Harry Potter takes place. Because Voldemort changes everything, right? We're focused so much on Grindelwald being like, Grindelwald this and Grindelwald that, but like Voldemort is the big world war of the Wizarding World, right?
Ish.
Voldemort is like the second coming.
Yeah, because he's still focused mostly on Hogwarts, where Grindelwald is like everywhere. Like he was in New York, and then wherever the second movie took place, and then
I meant Voldemort the first time around, before Harry's born.
Oh,
because Voldemort, doesn't he unite the giants? Don't the giants?
Yeah, he does, but I think he mostly stays in England though. I don't think he really left to go to other countries.
Are we sure? Because a lot of the
I don't know. I could be making it up. A lot
of the Durmstrang people are Death Eaters, right? Isn't the Durmstrang headmaster a Death Eater?
Oh, that's true.
What's his name? Karkaroff.
Karkaroff. Yeah, Karkaroff. Yeah.
Not Kakarot from Dragon Ball Z, but Karkaroff from Harry Potter. Yeah.
He's an ex-Death Eater.
Right. So I'm pretty sure Voldemort's first bout was like Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And people died. Mudbloods died, right? Non-supporters died, and I feel like it's a really big thing.
Called them Mudbloods.
Were you saying me or J.K. Rowling?
No, you. I mean, you said Mudblood.
Is that not the general? I know it's not a good word in the realm of Harry Potter, but also the real world. But that's what they called them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or half-bloods. I mean, either way. But the point being is, a lot of them died, right? I would assume. I think that's what happened originally with Voldemort's original stint.
It's funny. That's what I call my sister. I'm like, you mudblood.
I'm sure we all call our sisters bad names, you know. That's neither here nor there. Okay, Queen J is saying it is what they were called. Yeah. Queen J is also saying that during Harry Potter, Dumbledore is over 150 years old. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so.
Dumbledore is very old.
Yeah, Dumbledore is very old.
Wait, but okay, so this takes place during the 30s, right? Fantastic Beasts takes place during the 30s. It's before World War II, during the Depression. You can see it with Kowalski's bakery. And that's what, like 80 years, 70 years before Harry Potter, because Harry Potter takes place in the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, I know the first book came out in 97. So
no, well, but the story I think takes place.
I know that Prisoner of Azkaban takes place in 93.
So it's like early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of something I didn't understand, why is Minerva McGonagall there? Like, she shouldn't be if she's there, she shouldn't be a professor at Hogwarts she's much younger than, like, if anything, she should be a student at this point.
Yeah.
That didn't make sense to me.
Well, somebody said that she's supposed to be negative years old during the 30s. Like, she's not born until like the 50s.
So when they introduced her, it was like Minerva. I was like, Minerva, why is she here?
Right. Just because they were like, they wanted another prominent
another name drop.
Yeah.
Like, who else could they have put? Filch?
I mean, no, he's not as old as Dumbledore. But
by the way,
Professor Binns, the ghost professor, would have been an excellent choice, I think.
Who's the ghost professor?
He teaches history of magic.
Yeah, he teaches history of magic. Yeah,
he died teaching, and he's just still there teaching as a ghost. Yeah.
By the way, does Filch, if you're a squib, can you go to Hogwarts?
I don't think so.
No.
Why would you go to a school that teaches you magic if you can't?
Right.
Magic.
Well, yeah, that's fair. He could have been someone. Not knowing magic is no excuse. He could have been someone. He could have learned things. He could have been a teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, do they have non-magical teachers at Hogwarts besides ghosts? I mean, even ghosts are like magic.
Can ghosts use magic?
They can't use magic, but I'm like, but you're a ghost. That's magic.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Queen J is bringing up Harry's Aunt Petunia, and she didn't go to Hogwarts, but that's because Aunt Petunia she's not a squib. She's just a muggle. Because their parents are right? Yeah. Lily and Petunia's parents are muggles.
Yeah, Lily was muggle born.
I always found out it's like an X-Men thing. Like, regular people can make witches and wizards. Like, it's kind of like you can have two normal humans or whatever, but then your child turns out to be a mutant. That's kind of like where Hermione was. Yeah. Both her parents were muggle, but then she was born a witch. It kind of makes me wonder, like, how does it work? Like,
it's magic.
I guess maybe
it's magic.
I guess maybe they had a witch or whatever in their bloodline, and
as far as I know, it's like a recessive trait or something, right? And and that's how it works. But yeah, Queen J says Lily was born from non-magical parents. Yeah, so they don't have non-magical people as teachers in the school, right? Of course. But ghosts are magical beings, but can't use magic. They can just do whatever ghosts do, I'm assuming. So I don't know.
I think to be a ghost, you have to be a witch or wizard.
Yeah.
There's no just ghosts hanging out in the human world?
No,
it doesn't seem so, because it's alluded to in the books that you have to make the choice to remain a ghost for eternity. You have to perform some kind of spell or something to.
Oh.
And then there's no undoing it. Once it's done, it's done.
Really? So like nearly headless Nick was like, I don't want to die. I just want to be nearly headless Nick.
Yeah.
Well, I think you do it before you die. So I don't think
it has to be done before you die.
I don't think it's like literally as he's about to get his head chopped off. I want to be a ghost. It's probably like he probably did it like weeks before, and he happened to die that way, and so that's when he's stuck. He's stuck.
It's like
it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder when Moaning Myrtle decided.
Oh yeah, because she was a kid and she died via baptism.
Yeah.
We're coming up with way better stories. That why is it so hard to do a proper Wizarding World movie?
Or just an expansion of the Wizarding World. Like there's so many things that they could dive into that we haven't really, like the history of magic. Like, how did magic come about? Like They talk about Africa being the only place where they practice wandless magic. I would like to see that. We haven't really seen any of that.
By the way, that is really cool. But also, J.K. Rowling just sucks with her. It's funny. She sucks with her closed-mindedness. Not only like, not only the turf shit, but also like, she just kind of thinks England is the center of everything.
Yeah.
So like, even her thoughts on like Ilvermorny are half-baked. They make no sense, and she treats it like Native American magic didn't even exist before the British got there and created Hogwarts Part 2.
Yeah, because even Ilvermorny, it wasn't created by the native people.
No.
It was created by British people that came. It's like, oh my God, Jake.
Right.
Like, it's right there. It's right. Like,
Right.
so native people couldn't create their own magic, especially since you're using all native names for the school.
Yeah.
Wow. Is Ilvermorny a native name?
Not a native name, but like it's like native-ish.
Oh, okay.
Or like the name of the it's based off
houses.
that's based off like native principles.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of the houses, but
Also,
yeah.
the houses suck at Ilvermorny.
Yeah.
Those are sucky houses.
I forgot what house I am in Ilvermorny.
It's I forget too, because they're not as cool as the Hogwarts houses, you know.
Even with like the way she depicted like Slytherins, like the fact not one Slytherin joined the battle of Hogwarts at the end of the it's like come on.
That's why the ongoing joke is like, we're gonna have 4 houses. We got the smart kids, the brave kids, the miscellaneous kids, and the evil kids. Like,
but then based on this movie, it's like, but the Slytherins were good. Like when they're interacting with Jacob and like they're not assholes.
Well, they gave
So
them
like,
cockroach clusters as a joke.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as a joke, but it's like it's not like it was
They were
poison or
homicidal. Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's what's weird about Harry Potter is it's so. First thing, Dumbledore sucks when it comes to treating Harry Potter or treating other students as good as he treats Harry Potter. And then also like the whole Gryffindors are just the best people and Slytherins are just the worst. Why don't you just get rid of that house?
Yeah, if everybody's just terrible, like, because that's essentially the narrative that she told. But like,
Yeah.
I feel like even with Harry Potter, a much interesting story would have been if Harry was actually put into Slytherin house. So like, you're telling the narrative, and then you're also and like have Ron be in Gryffindor, have Harry be in Slytherin, have Hermione be in Ravenclaw. So now you're also getting to see all the other houses because we didn't really get to see that.
Right.
And it makes sense. Why is Hermione in Gryffindor? Doesn't make sense. Should have been a Ravenclaw. And then we like even Hufflepuff. We never really got to see the Hufflepuff common room outside.
Right.
Of,
I mean, Neville's the closest main character on Gryffindor that would be Hufflepuff. I would.
Yeah.
You know, like he could have been.
And then you could tell the narrative of like, yeah, not all Slytherins are evil. Like you have Harry over here.
But that's the thing. Her ideas are just like not there. Like, it's great. She created this whole wizarding world, but it causes so many more questions. Like, the fact is, and right now it's just a shit on J.K. Rowling right now, hour. But
no, we could do that. We haven't done it yet.
her whole view on Spew is that Hermione is just too woke. Like, Hermione, calm down. They want to be slaves. That's the lesson learned, right?
Not even just that, but it gets even worse in the Cursed Child, which is canon. I use it in quotes because I don't acknowledge it.
I don't acknowledge it. Yeah.
But I saw the Cursed Child on Broadway.
Oh.
And Hermione, and she's played by a Black woman at that, so it makes it even worse. But she becomes the Minister of Magic and still doesn't abolish elven slavery. Like the elves are still slaves.
Do we see the elves being slaves in Cursed Child?
Yeah. If I remember correctly, Jessica, tell me if I'm wrong, but the elves are still slaves, and yeah.
We'll see what. Have you read Cursed Child, Carly?
No.
Okay. Is it because people said don't?
Yeah, but my grandma gave it to me as a gift, so now I have no excuse. I need to I guess. But
Yeah.
I've heard about the plot and I'm like, what?
It makes no sense.
No.
The way they treat time travel in Cursed Child is different than Prisoner of Azkaban, which is the way I like to treat time travel in my fiction. Just watching it, it's that anytime you travel back in time, you had always traveled back in time. You know, it's not you created a new timeline. That's my whole thing with the Avengers and the MCU thing is like they were always in the past. That's just the way it works. And that way you don't create paradoxes because you were always there. And what happens. But yeah, Cursed Child sucks a lot. Also, the names are just dumb.
I will say though, why am I waving a nail clipper?
Yeah, I was like,
it's my makeshift wand.
Yeah.
But even though the script is trash,
Yeah.
seeing it on Broadway is incredible.
Okay.
Like it's just like the way they do the mentors and the magic. You're just like, how did they do that? How did they do that? How did they do that?
Yeah.
What the hell? I want to see like a behind the scenes.
Because it's like actual magic on stage.
I mean, it's not actual magic, but
No, but like you know what I mean. Like if a magician did a stage show, but then made a play using those tricks.
More or less, yeah.
Okay.
Like the way they do like the transformation into like Polyjuice. And you see the actor's hand come through, and then they like. I'm like, how did they do that?
I want to see it, but I don't know where or when that would be.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're touring.
Are they? I
know you're in California, but like most Broadway shows tour.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you just got to come to New York and then hit me up when you're here.
I will and I would. I would and I will. But I'm also in California near LA anyway, so I mean I should be able to see it if it comes out here. But where were we? Just talking about J.K. Rowling's half baked stuff, Ilvermorny,
being a turf.
Being a turf.
Which is why I said before, if you're conflicted on seeing this movie, don't.
Yeah.
Because of like you love Harry Potter, you love the world, everything like that. Wait till it goes on HBO Max.
Yeah. Did we
pirate it? Yo ho fiddly dee. Being a pirate is totally free.
Yeah. I'm not against pirating for a cause. I'm also not against pirating per se, though it is a very gray situation. Not in this case. Pirate away. Carly, were you gonna say something?
We were just talking about like Grindelwald versus Voldemort.
That's right. And Queen J says Hermione did abolish the elf slave situation.
Oh.
She did? I don't remember that, but okay.
I don't remember it coming up in the thing, but interesting. Oh, so yeah. So she brings up a lot of questions in her writing that like need, answers that we never get. And then with Grindelwald and with Dumbledore, they should have just been in love.
Yeah.
But you can't cut it out for Chinese audiences. What were we gonna say about JK being a turf? Was that what you Michael? Were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was thinking about something else, and I was like, because it is a little bit more complicated than just boycotting the movie. Because then it's like, this is like Jessica Williams' first major movie, so like, then you got the production designer who aren't making like she already has her money, like she's not. Yeah, but then there's other people involved with the movie. So now that I'm thinking about that, I'm like, yeah, it's way more complicated than just boycott, because you're not hurting her. She's already damn near a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why I said like this could have been a perfect opportunity, considering that Warner Brothers is really trying to distance themselves from J.K. Rowling to the fact that she wasn't invited to the 20th anniversary.
That's right.
The video game that's coming out, they made it like a clear statement like, she was not involved in any of the process in making this video game, Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay.
But like I feel like they could have made a bigger statement with this movie by making it gay as fuck. Casting trans wizards and witches in the movie. Having Dumbledore have a love interest. Him and Grindelwald kissing or whatever in a couple scenes, whether it's a flashback or when they met at the restaurant, one last kiss before we go to war. Mm-hmm. Him getting head in the fucking Hogwarts bathroom. Like, it could have been, like, make it gay as hell. That way, this is a definitive statement to say we are not her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This might be her franchise, but this is, or she controls the books. We control the movies.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because that's essentially, because I did look up the rights. Like, she still owns the characters and everything. She still owns the books. But in terms of the movie, she doesn't really like control or like have a say.
She gets writing credit though. She still gets writing credit.
So she still gets paid. But in terms of like what they do in the movies, she doesn't really have that much of a say in it. So like, this could have been their way of saying like, yeah, we're not her. We don't stand by these statements. And we're going to do that by actually showing it and making it like gay warts instead of Hogwarts.
Let's not, how about we not call it gay warts?
Yeah, I thought about that. I thought about that after I said it, but I was like, whatever.
Yeah. I just imagine like the Warner Brothers executives, one of them was like, yes, gay warts. And then they're like, and then that made them be like, nah, we can't do this. We just can't do it. We just, gay warts or nothing. No. Yeah, you're right. Like they are like, well, I also think that like, I saw a clip of Emma Watson being asked, and it was the nicest answer that seemed like from the heart. Because she doesn't agree with J.K. Rowling, right? Mm-hmm. And it was, I forget what the clip was. I don't know if Queen J out there had seen it or any of you guys had seen it, but who knows? Emma Watson could have been like, yeah, I don't want J.K. Rowling to attend. And then Warner Brothers could have been like, oh, who'd rather have, J.K. Rowling or Emma Watson in this Harry Potter anniversary special? And I'm sure other people were like, I wouldn't be surprised.
Daniel Radcliffe spoke out against her.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the three of them, I don't know if what Rupert Grint believes in, but where he is on that situation. But I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson were like, yeah, both of us aren't coming. It's like, well, why would you do the anniversary special without those two? Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. So like, I don't know. They could like, and also we like, even with like, they could have had like a gay wizard pride parade. Cause we also don't know like how the wizarding world feels about homosexuality. Cause It's like, even when Dumbledore kind of talks about it, it seems like they're like, oh, you in love with Grindelwald? It's like, so is it like the human world, the Muggle world, or is it like, oh, whatever, like you're in love? Like, we don't know anything. And yet it's like he's the main story, and we don't know how the world feels about.
There's been a couple of instances where it seems like the Wizarding world follows the politics of the Muggle world. For instance, in Fantastic Beasts 1 or 2, 1 I think, I forget. They say that Muggle wizard weddings aren't allowed in America.
Yeah.
And that's again around the same time as like miscegenation laws, right? Anti-miscegenation laws in America back then for people of different races marrying.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was trying to mirror that. And then they said they went to England to get married or would go to England to get married or something like that. So then England allows it, which I believe is also, they didn't have anti-miscegenation laws. It was mostly just frowned upon in England, but they allowed it. So I feel like it mimics what's going on in the Muggle world and in the Wizarding world. But in a franchise where they said, oh yeah, this snake has always been a human to begin with.
Speaking of, where the fuck is Nagini? We didn't even see Nagini at all in this movie.
I don't understand Nagini at all.
No, I don't either. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
She's a big old evil snake, but she wasn't evil in number 2.
No, she wasn't.
She's like a caution, not a cautionary tale. She's a sympathetic character.
And
right?
if she was a human, why did she never turn back into human? If she stuck as a snake, why
Yeah,
did she
she's
become
stuck as a snake. I think that was like part of the curse. But like,
how did she become stuck as a snake? How did Dumbledore meet her? I mean, not Dumbledore, Voldemort.
Yeah.
She was originally they don't know it. Like I said, obligation as opposed to inspiration.
Which is a lot of like prequel, like when you get stuck in prequel stuff, it's like, how did Han Solo get the last name Solo? Did we care? I thought it was his last name.
Yeah.
That's obligation, not inspiration. Though I was fine with it. I
wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of the Solo movie.
That's fair.
Even with that, it's the same question I'm asking with this. I asked in Solo. What did we learn from Solo that justified it needing to get a movie? They even kind of retconned this whole thing because before he joined Star Wars and the Rebels, he was an asshole. He was the Han, the one who shot first.
Yeah.
But in the Solo movie, he was like, no, I'm a hero, and it's like, no, like now you're erasing literally everything you did in Episode 4.
Yeah. It's this problem. The problem with prequels is, how do you tell compelling stories when we know how it ends up, or at least what the world is later, and then we have these characters that are younger versions of themselves? We never needed a solo movie. Yeah. Carly, what do you want from the Wizarding World going forward?
It's hard to say because I know that Warner Brothers was contemplating not making a 4th and 5th movie. This movie, Secrets of Dumbledore, they were kind of testing the waters to see like how they should go. And I think with the way they ended it, they could get away with leaving it like this for the fans who don't really like read into the books as much or pay as much attention to like what's supposed to happen. Like, because Grindelwald disappears, and the way they wrapped it up, Dumbledore tells Newt, you're a hero, like everyone's gonna remember your name, and this day is like a historic day, but like that's not how it ends. It's not supposed to happen. Like, but they could just like not make any more, and this would be an okay ending, I guess.
They wrap up Jacob and Queenie, and Tina like pops up at the end, even though she wasn't in the whole movie.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but okay. But yeah,
it feels like the Grindelwald part is the only part that hasn't been wrapped up, and I don't think they need another 2 movies really for Dumbledore to fight Grindelwald.
Because the original
they're just
plan
going to
is to
add
do
more
5
stuff.
movies, right?
Yeah, they're just going to add more stuff that we don't care about.
Right. Unless they just do a 2-parter movie, just 2 movies, Dumbledore versus Grindelwald live at Madison Square Gardens. I don't know.
I'm good with that. Just give me a movie. Even if it's not a movie, a HBO Max movie would just. I want a 2-hour fight with Dumbledore and Grindelwald. That's all I'm interested in this franchise. Because even the fight that they had at the end of the movie, I was like, "Ooh, yes, like battle," but it was too short.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's all you want, Michael? Because you've been talking this whole time about Head in Hogwarts, in Hogwarts bathroom.
Yeah, but clearly, I'm used to disappointment. I'm not gonna get it. So give me at least what I know I can.
What if you get it on the Marauders map? Like, you know how people talk about the 2 feet?
The 2, yeah. So it was. I'm like, how would that work? What, they're scissoring on the like? I was like, how? Yeah, I was like, how would that work
from the top? Why are my fingers doing this?
Yeah, I was like, how would that work on the map?
But it doesn't exist yet. So
yeah, it would.
You would just see 2 people facing each other on the map.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They could just be talking.
They could just be, yeah. Or on the map it says getting
BJ,
head.
Says BJ. Yeah. Says BJ.
Or it's like I don't know. Anyway, room of requirement. Dumbledore requires Head.
He requires a BJ because. Yeah, is Gellert the only time he's ever nutted? Like,
I don't know. Well, here's the thing, though. The actual question is like, so I'm assuming,
is he a virgin? Like,
no, he's not a virgin. Gellert and him definitely did it, but like, right? Yeah. But he was his first love or first, homosexual love.
But that's what I was saying. Like, they don't really go into like if it was actually unrequited love,
right?
or like he just like, oh, I have a crush.
That's a bigger question though, is whether a truly evil person can love. And because there are people in real life that their relationships are just based off of toxic manipulation and abuse. Does that real life person actually love the person they're abusing and manipulating? I would say it's just as real as Gellert and Dumbledore.
I would say in his twisted way, I think, because even when they fought at the end, like Gellert still kind of hesitated, like they both hesitated and they both had their hands on each other's hearts. That was like that was like the gayest thing in the movie. It was like, oh, it's gay. But like, yeah, it wasn't. And it's funny because I say this and people that aren't gay or like straight, they were like, no, I like probably, I don't know about Carly, but but like, they're like, no, I've never seen a dynamic like this in a movie between two men. I thought it was totally gay. No, the fuck, no, it wasn't. Like, it was, and granted, I'm not saying I want like Pornhub or whatever. Like you can go to Pornhub for that, but it's like, I just want the same level of care and commitment that you give the straight characters for the gay character. Like I said, if 7 seconds of gay can be taken out of a movie and it doesn't change anything, especially with the Secrets of Dumbledore, and it's kind of this movie was more so about Dumbledore, the gay character, and yet there's no gay. And I'm not even just talking about romance, but being gay is more than just about sex. It can determine the friendships that you have, the decisions that you make, who you choose or choose not to have friends with, the spaces that you choose or choose not to feel comfortable. Like it encompasses a whole lot than just who you go to bed with. And yet there's none of that in this movie.
As a straight guy, I saw the relationship of Grindelwald and Dumbledore, and in my point of view, I'm like applauding the progress, but there could have been more. So I'm agreeing with you. And from my limited perspective is also very similar. I'm feeling the way you're feeling is very similar to the way I view like race in media, where it's like, why the fuck isn't it like more diverse here? Like you're going very little by little, just like, where is it? Why do we have to go? It's like, so I'm empathizing with you in that regard. Why don't they just do it?
Oh yeah, I go through that too. Like, I mean, I'm both minority, black gay comic geek, so I have both fights that I deal with. Even when it comes to like, and I talked about this a lot on TikTok. Like a lot of times, I have to choose between black representation and queer representation. Very rarely do I get both.
You shouldn't have to choose. That's what sucks. Like
even whether it's movies or comic, like, you know, written by black people, drawn by black, but it's like there's like hardly any queer characters or anything like that. But it's like, yeah, I got my black superheroes and black fantasy or whatever, but I'm like, where are the black queer characters? Like, come on, guys. Like, but then the same thing, like when it comes to gay media, it's mostly white gay media. So it's like, yeah, you hardly.
Yeah. Carly?
I must say, as a bi woman, I was very happy to see the gay representation with man loving man and not woman loving woman, because I feel like we see woman loving woman representation so much more often because it like fits the straight male gaze, because like that's hot to so many men, which is upsetting because that's not why we want the representation. Like, so I liked that it was like not fitting to any gaze. And I'd like to see the representation, even if it wasn't a lot, in the Harry Potter universe, because that's something we haven't gotten before. And it's like a little tiny win, even if it was like nothing.
It sucks that we have to take baby steps for China to view the movie. Got to take baby steps for like the Middle East to not, you know, Middle East, Southeast Asia, specifically like Malaysia, Indonesia. Not all of Southeast Asia. But
that's the thing. It's not even just China, because even the Cursed Child is totally like Scorpius and Albus are totally gay. They love each other, and I don't care what. I'm not taking any questions or debates or anything about. I even did a survey. Like when I went to see it, I literally walked up to strangers and asked, "Did you think these two were gay or lovers in this. They were like, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Why did you? And then also when I found out, I spoke to the ushers afterwards because originally it was 2 separate plays. So you had to go on 2 separate days. It was like 5.5 hours, but they condensed it into 3.5 hours. And you only had to go 1 day now instead of 2 days. And they even said when they condensed it, they even added more elements to the story to be like, yeah, they're kind of it's hint. But I'm like, I'm tired of subtext. I want fucking text. So if you're like if you're gonna add hint, why not just go all the way with it? I don't know if it's like a J.K. Rowling thing or I don't know what it is. And it's something I noticed before. Like, despite the fact that Broadway is like the choreographers, the directors, the actors, everybody's gay on Broadway. But like when you think about it, there's not that many gay plays or musicals on Broadway.
Which is weird because why are you going to see Broadway if you're homophobic? Like sometimes I wonder, like there's high school theater programs out there in very homophobic areas that I'm like, what plays do you do? How into theater can you get?
But that's what I was saying. Like, there's not many
those stories.
There's not many gay plays or musicals on Broadway, so there's a lot. If you're homophobic, you can still do the like Little Shop of Horrors or Company or Miss Saigon or et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, there's not.
It's just
really
weird though that it's like a weird disconnect.
The straight agenda is what I rail about all the time.
Right. When you brought up subtext versus text, our flag means death. Have you guys seen it?
I've seen the first 2 episodes and I was bored.
Okay. Well, it is really good, and I get how you could feel it's boring. I don't know what I can say then. I don't know.
I know it's gay. A lot of people was like, go back and watch it. Like by the 3rd episode, it picks up. I was
because Blackbeard joins the crew, right?
Yeah. Somebody was like, when Taika Waititi shows up, that's when it starts to become good. So go back and watch it. And I'm like, all right, but yeah, first 2 episodes, I was like I was like, I'm bored.
Right. I would say give it another shot. It turns subtext into text, and what's good about text versus subtext, you can't cut it out. You can't cut it out. You can't deny it. When people were denying the racial stuff in Falcon and the Winter Soldier up until they finally made it, like Isaiah Bradley brought it up, people were like, nah, you're reading too much into it. They do it all the time, right? People always go, you're reading too much into it. They're not gay. They're not talking about police brutality. Everything's fine. Calm down, people. And then that subtext needs to become text in order for us to be like, okay, good.
Even sometimes when things are in your face, people are like, oh no, or you get I'm tired of you. I don't know if you saw that TikTok. I'm tired of the politics in my comic book movies, bro.
Yeah. I just want the fights, man.
Yeah. And I'm like, comics started with like every single comic book is politically related. Like the first issue of Captain America is him punching Hitler.
Right.
They have 9/11 issues in comics. God loves, man kills. Like what? All of X-Men is politics.
Right. Superman starts off. The villains are like organized.
Yeah, like slumlords.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before he was fighting Darkseid and Doomsday, he was helping people like with their rent.
Right. He was fighting the KKK.
Yeah, he was fighting the KKK.
Yeah. So that subtext becoming text, I think you're right in that way. That being said, Carly, I think we need more queer representation in all media. When we're talking specifically Harry Potter, like I do want to see women loving women loving women, not in a what you said sort of
not
way.
in a sexualized, not in an over fitting like male gaze way. Yeah,
right. And I do want to see men loving men, and then see more bisexual characters. Right. We're also dealing with a magical world that has polyjuice potions. We're dealing with so many things that are just like people can be who they want to be or should be allowed to. There are means to it. There are it's opens up this whole world. Why are we sticking to the stringent expectations of Muggle society? X-Men's kind of dealing with that right now in the comics, where they're just like, mutant culture is trying to be mutant culture and not just a counterculture to human culture. They're like, well, what does mutant culture mean? And they're just kind of creating their own culture.
Yeah, they have their own language and stuff now.
Their own language, their views on polyamory, right? It's just what is it? They're creating their own thing, and so the magical world should also reflect that.
Although even with that, it's still subtext instead of text. Like the hints that Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Wolverine are all sleeping with each other. They talk about the Jean Grey and Cyclops aspect and Jean Grey and Wolverine, but they kind of hint that Cyclops and Wolverine are also having sex. But again, we're never subtext. It's all subtext, but we don't actually see it. It's just all hints.
So this is where we're gonna disagree. So I agree with you on that. I think. This is our Secrets at Dumbledore episode. I think that Wolverine and Scott aren't fucking each other. That's my personal thing. I do think they're fucking Jean at the same time. I do, and I think that they've. I think they're just. Yeah, this is me from my limited perspective. And this is where that's coming out.
There was literally a lot. It was like X-Men #2 or something like that, where both Scott and Wolverine were on the moon at Scott's home looking over the earth. Yeah. And Cyclops invited them to me and Jean are going to the beach or something like that. And he was like, yeah, I want you to come. And Cyclops said, I'm going to be wearing a Speedo. And Wolverine said, who could say no to that? Why else would that line?
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah. You're right about that. I'm just also of the mind that why can't an MFM threesome exist without the M's together? Like they can, right?
Yeah, they can, but then that goes into the whole debate of why does it always have to be gay, bro? But it's not. It never is.
Right. And
like so like when have we ever seen a man woman relationship or whatever?
Like a true love triangle. A true triangle, right? Not a V.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I get the Speedo thing.
Yeah, then also, why have that line if they're not fucking?
You're right. And for the sole purpose of the fact that we both come out of it reading the same thing and coming out in different ways means like their subtext should be text. For that. You know,
it's the same problem I have with Deadpool. Like outside of alternate universes, we've never seen Deadpool actually Deadpool's pansexual, but we've never seen him actually have a romantic relationship with anything other than a cis woman outside of alternate universes. He makes jokes he makes gay jokes at like Spider-Man's expense or Thor to make them uncomfortable. It's like, oh, we're going to play gay for joke, but it's not actually like we never see him with same thing with Wonder Woman. Oh, she's totally she comes from an island of women, but it's always Steve Trevor or Superman or Batman. Now in an Elseworld story, she's with like Kara Zor-El or some shit, but it's an Elseworld story. It's not within the main DC canon.
You're right.
I can go on and on, but this is Secrets of Dumbledore.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. What was I gonna they treat Deadpool as pansexual like Bugs Bunny would be. You know what I mean?
More or less, yeah.
Bugs Bunny dresses up like a woman, kisses Elmer Fudd. That's Deadpool's level of pansexuality.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean much. It's not grounded in reality. It's cartoonish. It's played for jokes.
And I think part of the last thing I'll say, I don't want to monopolize the whole thing, get it on my soapbox, because this is like my whole platform.
Yeah.
Talking about these things.
Yeah.
So I get a little passionate.
Yeah.
But like also the last thing I'll say when it comes to that is a lot of times part of the problem with it though is like a lot of these things when it comes to representation are usually written by straight white men, whether it's the queer, and granted, I don't know for sure how Tom Taylor identified, but I think Tom Taylor's straight, writing Superman Son of Kal-El, and when it comes to movies, like you got straight white men writing gay characters in these movies. So like a lot of times when you do get women and woman relationships, it ends up being through the male gaze because it's straight man writing it. Or when you got to somebody like Storm has never been written by for the most part, a Black woman in her 50+ year history in X-Men. She's always been written mostly by white men.
Yeah.
Except for like the small little, like the Eric Jerome Dickey story that came out in 2006 was written by, he's a Black man. Or like the time she appeared in Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Panther. So obviously he's writing it. But for the most part, Storm, a Black woman, has only been written by straight white men.
Right. Her guest starring stuff is a little bit different because you got like Reggie Hudlin's run of Black Panther. But again, that also brings to light how we don't have any Black women writers on X-Men at all, I don't think. I don't remember... I can't think really, of...
For the most part, comic. I mean, N.K. Jemisin, but she's not like a main... She just wrote like Far Sector, but she's not like a main writer in DC.
Right. So, yeah. A question that I want to bring up to you both about kind of the future of Harry Potter. The box office does not look good for Secrets of Dumbledore. It says it's its lowest Harry Potter movie opening weekend, and it's only going to go downhill. It's not going to increase. I thought Sonic 2 was going to stay pretty stable, and I think Sonic 2 is staying pretty stable. Secrets of Dumbledore beat it out this week, which I wasn't looking forward to. I wanted Sonic 2 to keep the #1 spot for a second week, because I liked it. I thought it was good. But is the Harry Potter franchise dying? Carly?
I think so, and I think J.K. Rowling is killing it.
I just talking to all, my friends who like Harry Potter that I've known. I know they like Harry Potter. I've known, they've been Potterheads or whatever for the longest time. Chose not to see this movie for many different reasons, right? The Fantastic Beasts movies aren't that great. They don't want to support J.K. Rowling. It's kind of an all of the above kind of situation. Where do we go from here? I don't know. It sucks because, we're all like, we're seeing the movies and we're reading the books and whatever, cause we like it. But we also dislike J.K. Rowling. We don't agree with her. Where do the fans go? Where does WB go? Where does the Harry Potter franchise go?
Are you asking me or?
I mean, it's just
Carly.
general.
I don't know.
Well, I think for me, I think it's more than just J.K. Rowling, honestly.
Yeah.
That's causing the franchise. I think in terms of the movies, the Harry Potter verse is dying. And J.K. Rowling is a huge part of it, but I also think it's more than just J.K. Like, I feel like if the Fantastic Beasts movies were actually incredible, I think people will still be like, oh, I don't like J.K. Rowling, but I'm still going to go see the movie because I like the first two. Because like even something like the Harry Potter world and Universal, people are still going to that. And like, they're not like, oh, J.K. Rowling. They're saying, yeah, J.K. Rowling's a turf, but I'm still going to go to Harry Potter world or the Hogwarts Legacy video game. There's still a lot of hype around that game. And people are like, oh, I can't, like, you look at the internet, people are like, oh, I can't wait to play that game. The game looks so good. And, J.K. Rowling sucks, but I'm still going to play the game. So it's like, if the movies were good, people will go see them. I think it's more than just the fact that, and obviously there's part of that too. Like, yeah, J.K. Rowling's not helping it. But I think it's just the fact that these movies started at a bad premise and they weren't that good. The first two weren't that memorable, like to the point that we're struggling to remember what happened in like number 2 and 3. We're like, did this happen in part 1? Oh, what's his face? The Lestrange guy, his brother, or her brother. I'm like, I didn't even remember him in part 2. And you were like, yeah, he was had a prominent role in part 2. I'm like, well, shit, fuck me. I don't remember. So I think that's a big reason why. More so than J.K. Rowling, than why these movies aren't really catching fire, to throw mocking, Hunger Games. I think it's that. And honestly, I feel like if they want to continue with the Harry Potter franchise, they need to nobody's hiring me, but they need to take my advice, like make a clear statement to say, like, look, we're distancing ourselves from J.K. Rowling, and make the next, and not have it be a movie. They could like expand it more with like HBO Max or whatever, like a limited, like maybe series spinoff, whatever, kind of like what Disney Plus is doing with their Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But then like, look, our next Harry Potter franchise, it's a trans wizard as the lead or something like that. Like,
yeah.
I definitely do think I think they need to abandon Fantastic Beasts franchise. I think they need to just drop it because it's not doing well. And especially like the fandom doesn't really like Dumbledore that much to begin with. I know a lot of Dumbledore haters within the fandom. I myself am not a huge fan of Dumbledore. But I think if they like picked up like a Marauders HBO series, or if they did Marauders movies, that would gain a lot of traction, or like a modern day one following maybe Harry as an Auror and the Golden Trio where they are now, or even like the founding members. If we could get a movie about the founding members of Hogwarts, that would be interesting. There are just so many different directions they could have taken that wasn't Fantastic Beasts and Dumbledore's that would have gotten a lot more interest, I think.
Yeah. I think that first things first, J.K. Rowling needs to step aside or be moved to a side. Even if you got to pay her out, buy her out, move on. I don't know. I think that it's poisoning, like it's just poisoning the well. Yeah. And new kids aren't hopping onto Harry Potter. So it's going to die out when new fans don't hop on board, right?
In terms of contracts, I don't think you can like completely wash her out of the franchise. Like
you can buy her out like they did George Lucas. Disney did George Lucas, you know?
Yeah, but that's also because George Lucas actively he sold it to Disney.
That's
like
fair.
If she's not trying to sell the franchise, like you can't just buy her out if she's not. And then even with George Lucas, his name is still on it. Like they still gotta.
Right. They gotta distance. They gotta at least they can make as many like statements. I don't know, but.
And that's why I said the biggest statement would just be in what they do with the friend. Like make the next movie, like be like, yeah, we're not her. It takes place after the Voldemort or whatever's gone, maybe 30 years, whatever, or the past or whatever. But it's about a trans wizard or whatever.
Yeah. Teddy Lupin, because he's a Animorph Magus. So I've heard theories.
Animagus?
No, like a Animorph Magus, like what Tonks was.
Yeah, Tonks. Yeah.
What's?
Yeah, Teddy Lupin is the child of Tonks and
Remus Lupin.
What's Tonks's title called?
She can change. I think it's called Animorph Magus, where she can just change her appearance however she wants.
I feel like I would have remembered Animorph Magus because I was a big fan of Animorphs. Different franchise, but okay. I'll look into that. But yeah, Teddy Lupin would be cool. I also think that we need more diversity in front and behind the camera, right? So we're talking about these characters, but we're also like, I want to see a globe-trotting wizarding world kind of adventure, but written by people who actually know these cultures. Because when J.K. Rowling is like, I want an Asian character, let's call her Cho Chang. She doesn't have to be of the culture. She just has to know a goddamn person who in real life, that is, I don't know. Cho Chang's not a real name. It's ridiculous. Padma, the Patel twins should have had better gowns for the Yule Ball, like actual saris, not made from plastic or whatever that shit was, because those saris were horrible. The point being, like J.K. Rowling's doing this like limited perspective thing, and if this franchise is to continue, we need more perspectives. You know, let's see the African school, but don't make it be written by J.K. Rowling, because I'm afraid she's going to name more people names like Kingsley Shacklebolt. Shacklebolt?
Yeah, I'm like, at this point, I mean, we're already getting like Children of Blood and Bone coming at a certain point. I'm like, just make more books out of franchises or written by people of color.
Yeah. Yeah. Queen J says Tonks is a metamorph magus.
Metamorph magus.
Okay. That's fair.
Instead of, because supposedly HBO wants to reboot True Blood. I'm like, the show's been off the air less than 10 years. Like, there's so many books written by people of color that need to be made into franchises that are great. Yeah. That don't really get, a whole lot of eyes on them in the sense of like the quote unquote mainstream. By mainstream, I mean white people. But like, there's so many, like I have tons on my shelf that I'm like, I would love to see this as a movie. So like, give us that. Like, have like the next J.K. Rowling or whatever that gets the level of acclaim that she got, because a lot of that also came from the movies as well. Like she became richer because of the movies. Like make a new Hogwarts written by a person of color.
Yeah. Just a random side note, I interviewed author Jason Michael Primrose, author of 2050Z, and it's a new book series by him, Black Writer. And
yeah, I know Jason. I have his book.
Do you have his book?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard about him until I met him at WonderCon.
I was looking around to see if I had it like in arm's length, but I don't. I think it's in my room.
Oh, okay, that's great. I mean, we're talking like we need more writers writing original stuff, diverse writers, you know, from different walks of life. You're right. HBO Max, come on.
Yeah, I supported his Kickstarter.
Oh, that's cool. I hadn't heard about him until I like interviewed him, and so I'll release that interview soon, hopefully. But Queen J says the Gideon series books from Eric Jerome Dickey would be freaking awesome as well.
I don't know.
I haven't read those. Yeah. Thank you both of you for coming on the show and talking with me. I got kind of sad at the end. I'm just like, is it dying? Yeah. The question is it going to die or can it be revived?
I'll still be a Slytherin at heart, but yeah, J.K. Rowling is trash.
Yeah, she's trash. And I'm a Slytherin too. Carly, what are you?
I'm a Hufflepuff.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool. As long as nobody's here as a Gryffindor, I think we're good. You know. Thank you both.
Jessica's a Gryffindor.
Oh no, Jessica. Well, no one's perfect. All right. That's thank you both of you for coming on to this episode, talking about Secrets of Dumbledore, talking about Harry Potter, and everything else that we touched on. Before we get going, Carly, where can we find you on social media? If you want to say your social media out loud, where can we find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, my TikTok is Carly Bobarley. I make a lot of Harry Potter content. And then I've got a link tree in my bio where you can read my fan fictions. So on Wattpad. Yeah.
By the way, I commend you, congratulate you for your fanfics. I respect the fact that you write them. I think that literally the Harry Potter franchise stays alive because of people like you. You know?
Absolutely.
When the one author fucks it all up, the other authors are coming in and expanding on the stories that are never told. And so I guess thank you for doing that.
Thanks.
Michael, where can we find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
You can find me all across the Googles as Black Gay Comic Geek, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. I'm mostly active on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. What do I have coming? I mean, yeah, just basically all of them. Yeah. But what do I have coming out? I mean, today I was supposed to review Everything Everywhere All at Once and Sonic 2, but I got busy and now it's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm not going to do that. I'll probably record it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And put that out sometime whenever I feel like editing it.
Yeah.
But, and then also I'm pretty sure I'll be ranting against something with regards to the straight agenda on TikTok. So yeah. Just follow me on there. YouTube is for my reviews. TikTok is for like general commentary.
Awesome.
And then every so often I'll post a picture on Instagram. I'm like, do people still do that on Instagram anymore? No, not anymore. Now it's you just transfer your TikTok videos to Instagram. It's all about the real. It's all about the reels.
It's hard. I realize because I have a couple of different Instagrams. One is obviously for the Keeg. That's the one I keep updated a lot. And then my personal one, I'm like, how many more pictures of me do I need on my personal Instagram? Is that what I don't know. I'm still on that journey.
Yeah, I first joined Instagram back when I was like cosplaying heavily, but I don't cosplay anymore. Like I'm retired, so like I don't be having pictures like that anymore. Just be posting.
Yeah. You mentioned something that I wanted to. What was I going to say? Oh, Everything Everywhere All at Once is a movie that you can't cut out the lesbian characters.
Oh yeah, no.
My co-host on one of my shows, Paul, we finished the movie and he's like, "Yeah, that's one movie they're not going to show in China."
Yeah, no, not at all.
You can't cut it out.
And which is funny because the main actors are Chinese.
Yeah. But good on them.
Speaking of another long title.
Yeah. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Thank you to Queen J out there who's been commenting pretty much the whole time. Queen J says, I'm a Gryffindor, but I chose it on sorting day and then regretted it later, probably, right? And then Queen J says, my big sister is a Ravenclaw, so we're a house divided. I'm a Slytherin with kind of a Ravenclaw kind of backed up. My sister is, I don't know what my sister is. Ravenclaw with a Hufflepuff, maybe? So I get it. Sisters, Ravenclaw sisters, am I right?
I'm also there. And then it worked out because my college mascot is this rattlesnake, so.
Oh, for Slytherin. Yeah.
A Wampus. That's what I am for Ilvermorny.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The Ilvermorny sorting thing, it's like, the whole Ilvermorny thing is a problem for so many reasons. Thank you to everybody out there who are watching, whether it's Queen J or whether it's anyone else on any of our live streaming platforms, which is Volume, YouTube, and Twitch. You can find us at The Keeg Show on any of those three, as well as on social media in general at The Keeg Show. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I think TikTok and Instagram are the ones that I update most regularly. Because we do a bunch of shows here on the Keeg. It's not just the Keeg Talks. We got a bunch of stuff, including after shows, which we do like late night after shows for like shows like Moon Knight, Kenobi's coming up, Miss Marvel. We do late night after shows for that as well. So find us online at the Keeg Show. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/the Keeg Show. Check out the tiers there if you're looking to donate to the Keeg. You can find us there. And our podcasts are wherever you get your podcasts from. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're all over the place. Find us there. No matter how you choose to digest us, whether it's in live stream or podcast, we appreciate you. And I thank anyone out there watching or listening. That's pretty much the gist of things. Thank you guys yet again, Michael, Carly, for coming on the show and talking about this with me.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad we were able to squeeze this in. I know it's late for you guys. So, once again, I'm your host, Dimitri Pereira, and this has been another episode of the Keeg Talks, this time about Fantastic Beasts 3, Secrets of Dumbledore. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Super strong or super fast.